My name's Judene Edgar. I've been on the Tasman District Council since 2007. I'm a mum, a wife, I've got 2 children, and my background is in the health sector, but also what most people know me for is in fundraising. I'm totally against amalgamation. In particular, I'm really against the current proposal. It is a convoluted 2-tier governance model, and the 2-tier governance models around the country are what is actually failing local governance for people, and a large bureaucracy disenfranchises people, makes it hard for people to connect, makes it hard for them to connect with their councillors, with the staff. There are no savings universally on amalgamations. I see this as a giant disaster in the making if it goes through. While rural representation has been raised as a key issue, and I do believe it is, another key issue is urban. The small urban areas within Tasman are going to not fare as well against the might and power of central Nelson. The bulk of the population, the bulk of the urban population, will be centred in central Nelson. So it will be very hard for the small voices of urban areas to get a say, to get a fair deal out of where the money is spent. And so I think that small urban areas, and that is what we have in Tasman, actually also need to be really nervous about the prospect of what this may have for them. I think rates is a key issue for a number of people. Will this save money? I think it's very telling that the Local Government Commission themselves have said that they don't anticipate this will result in savings. There are increased costs for a number of elements, such as the increased governance costs. And I know governance savings is an area that people have been asking for, and one reason that they think amalgamation would be good. Interesting to note, the proposed additional governance costs are nearly $500,000 a year. If you look at, for example, the Ontario amalgamations, they had anticipated savings of $300 million. Within a few years after amalgamation, they were looking at deficits of nearly twice that. Their growth before amalgamations of those 6 areas was at 30%. After amalgamation, the growth was only at 5%. What businesses would want to come and set up in this region knowing, or actually not knowing, what is going to happen in the future? Another issue that people talk about is lost opportunities. And I think this is really a bit of one of those red herring situations. Okay, regional transport, that's a great example that people use. Originally, there was a pot of money, $90 million, that was divided up between the 3 councils, Marlborough, Nelson, Tasman. Marlborough went ahead, consulted on their project, which was replacing the Seddon Rail Bridge. They got that achieved. Tasman had their project, the Ruby Bay Bypass. They have managed to get that achieved. Nelson, decision is theirs. They've waned. They were going to fix up the whangamowers, then they were going to do a bypass. It's hard to keep up with everything they're doing now. Then it was all going to go into buses. The thing is, they just need to make a decision and stick with it. You do not have lost opportunities. You have a council not making good decisions is actually what you've currently got. Another big claim by proponents of amalgamation is that this will give us lobby power. You know, with one council we can get bigger funding. However, I would dispute that claim. For example, Motueka Water. When central government are looking at decisions for funding a project, they do not look at what is the total population of the region. They look at what is the population of that area. So for the Motueka Water application, for example, they looked at what is the population of the township of Motueka. That will not change under one region. I also personally find when we're dealing with submissions on council that actually one submission from a large group doesn't always carry more weight, but a lot of submissions from a lot of people raising concerns or a lot of different councils, that is actually something you need to listen to. First and foremost, get out there and vote. Well, actually, fill in your forms, vote, because this is a major decision for our region, and it is only 50% of those who actually vote. that will be making this major decision for us. Now, I will be voting against the union of Nelson City and Tasman District. I would urge you to vote against this.